Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on whatever is happening right now in the geopolitical world, all that trade, tariff, reciprocal tariff and all, and how it is going to be impacting the chart of country India. Along with that, the current Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. So how we can relate it, because it has been right now speculated that when whatever tariff threat is coming in from the US, so countries like Mexico, this could be Canada, this could be China, they all have retaliated against it. They all have risen their voice against it. But when it comes down to India, everyone is kind of, even in the comment section, they have been asking me that, Nipun, what do you think? Why India is not responding to that? Just because I recently did a whole playlist on different countries' charts as well, like the chart of Israel, chart of Syria, Iran. So because of that, a lot of the political enthusiasts and experts have been coming in, like the kind of traffic which is coming in recently. So all of those people were asking me. So I just thought that just in brief, we can look at that, because the month of May is going to be very sensitive. Even in the March as well, lot many planetary shift is going to be taking place. So is it something because the way planets are indicating, the way they are controlling and transiting in the chart of the India? So all of that in a brief video we will try to understand. So guys, before we will start our discussion, so whatever I will be explaining over here, when it comes down to the political part of that, so majority of the data has been taken from the Google, from YouTube and from the ChatGPT. I'm not a politics expert, but just for my lovely audience who want a background or a context on which we will be having our astrological analysis. So the first part of this video is going to be carrying those slides, and when it comes down to the chart of the India, it has not been much debated. A lot of the astrology expert with decades of experience, they see and they take Taurus as the rising sign of the independent India. When it comes down to the chart of the Narendra Modi ji, it has always been Scorpio rising. Lately, I do not know from where Libra started coming into picture, into consideration. Based on my personal observation, the whole timeline of Narendra Modi ji, his personality, his behavior, I somehow still stick to the Scorpio as the rising sign of the Narendra Modi ji only. And again guys, I have some of the very lovely audience which are based in US and all. So this is not something which is coming from a place of biasness or my personal favorism or something like that. It's a purely astrological discussion, and the way this thing, I love everyone, and who does not like being a creator? You have to love Donald Trump because he gives us so many ideas to make videos on. So okay guys, we will just start the discussion. So guys, as you can see in the very first slide, it's the CBC News only, they did this story on that. When it comes down to the Donald Trump, he is like a typical media person. So how much is the difference between the true chaos and the planned chaos? On this slide only, I want to say over here that it's not something which is very unique which Donald Trump is doing. When he was contesting for the second tenure, and whatever he promised to his voters, he is just doing the same thing only. So nothing to be surprised about. Now guys, as you can see in the second slide, so from the Mexico and from even from the Canadian Prime Minister, the way he has taken this iron stance against the, we can slightly call it the bullying of Donald Trump. So it has actually got him a lot of the praise in his back in home country. And now guys, what is happening right now, even in Canada, in the local grocery and all, suddenly there is that wave of nationalism even in Canada, where people are deliberately, while going for the grocery shopping and all, they are boycotting the US products and they are preferring the Canadian products. Now guys, we have also seen that Chinese embassy has also reacted to all the tariff threat from Donald Trump in a very stern kind of tone, which was very surprising. Like straight away, Chinese embassy like talking about war and all. So that actually came as very shocking for the whole world. Now guys, comes the point. Now what actually brought the whole Indian media and political circles into discussion was that this recent like tweet by Donald Trump, over where he mentioned this thing that India has agreed to cut their tariffs down because somebody is finally exposing them. So like there are like certain things which in India, like they take it to their heart, like especially while like in certain countries when this whole like India and Canada was having that diplomatic tension over there as well, Canadian representatives said this thing that if someone is like doing a protest over here and even if they are like tearing the flag and all, so we still put it or see it as their rights to do the protest and demonstration. But when it comes down to India, like our sentiments are very ripe, very emotional, very fragile, like how our flag is being treated. And especially like if you see another nation as a friendly country, friendly ally, and if you will use the word like exposing them, now there's nothing wrong in that. The problem is that the facts which you are using, the numbers which you are quoting, that seems to be incorrect, which we will see in this discussion. So guys, the next slide. Now, so what happened was that this Global Trade Research Initiative, like GTRI, is a research group focused on climate change, technology and trade. So they came up with this report that India should withdraw from all negotiations with the US and prepare to deal with Trump administration like other countries are doing. Because see, the thing is guys, during this time, before like Narendra Modi ji has been the Indian Prime Minister like from 2014 in itself, but before him, like the guy who was sitting there as the Indian Prime Minister was very intelligent, very knowledgeable, but he had this reputation of being very soft. Now, when it comes down to Narendra Modi ji in the domestic turf in India, he has got this reputation of like being very disciplined and very strict when it comes down to giving a befitting reply to the opponents and all. And that's what has been that is what has been doing the rounds in the Indian political discussion, that why Narendra Modi administration is not responding to these kind of incorrect claims made by the US administration. So this GTRI is a research group, like a think tank, and the founder is an Indian Trade Service officer with experience in trade policy making, WTO and FTA negotiation. So he has got expertise in all these areas. Now report said that US is exerting heavy pressure on India to accept trade demands that largely favor American interest. Now US President is insulting India publicly using wrong data. No balanced outcome is possible in such circumstances. Now guys, if you will go little bit, you will dig deeper into it. So US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, if I'm pronouncing the name right, has also said that India needs to open its agricultural market, emphasizing that it cannot be off the table when the country is negotiating with its largest trading partner. Now, like he also pressed for like a macro grand trade agreement with India and not product by product arrangement to promote bilateral trade. Now, the concern over here is that what the Indian administration or this think tank has speculated that if done like the way in the terms of the US Commerce Secretary, it could give way to more demands and interference on the Indian domestic agricultural markets like subsidies, patent laws and government procurement. Now, there has been a history, like even the last tenure of the Donald Trump, like Trump has a history of disregarding negotiated trade agreements. Because even like in 2019, in his last tenure, he actually established a free trade agreement between US, Mexico and Canada, which he completely scrapped it in this tenure, which has not been even 2 months, and he has already scrapped it and retaliated it with an imposition of rather 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican import, of which Justin Trudeau and all the leaders are protesting, showing their resentment and all. Now guys, when it comes down to the Indian scenario, so agriculture, passenger cars and other sensitive sectors are a very what do you call that, very closely nurtured like sectors in the which contribute a lot in the Indian GDP. Like for example, auto sector contributes to 1/3 of the manufacturing GDP. And if you will go by the even the reference, so Australia's domestic car industry did the same thing way back in late 1980s, and because of which their domestic car industry collapsed, just because they reduced the car import tariffs from 45% to 5%. And that is what the Indian administration is also being fearful about. Like if you will stop imposing and putting that much tariff on the US automobile sector, so it might completely ruin or destroy the Indian domestic automobile industry. So that is what we are fearful about. So India exported less than USD 13 million worth of passenger cars to the US, and if America increased tariff on Indian cars, India will not have much of the impact, because the like the export which we are doing, that is hardly, it's negligible, like 13 million USD. But if India reduced tariff on the US passenger cars, the cars which will be coming in from the US in the local Indian domestic market, so it will have very devastating impact on the India's domestic car market. And again guys, just few more slides. Like even if we talk about the agricultural sector, so India's agricultural sector supports over 700 million people's direct livelihood. If you will compare that number with the US, so USA's agricultural sector supports over 7 million people's direct livelihood. Now you can see the difference over here. Now the concern over here is that if you will opening even a few agricultural products to the US imports could set a dangerous precedent, leading to increased pressure for further concession. So that means, and if you will talk about the tariffs on the top US agricultural exports to India, as per the Indian administration and this think tank's report, it is not that high. And if you will make a comparison, so comparison, now this is what, because Donald Trump, being a media guy, he has this way of just making things larger than life. So US allegation is that India is a tariff king, and Delhi does have high tariff on specific items such as 150% on the wines and alcohol and 100% on cars to safeguard the domestic industry. But the US itself imposes 350% on the tobacco being exported from India to US. And guys, even in terms of the overall trade, the weighed tariff rates for US goods entering India are only 4.9% higher than what the US applies to Indian products. Now, Harley Davidson has been a lot in the discussion. So White House fact sheet inaccurately stated that India imposes 100% tariff on Harley Davidson motorcycles, whereas the actual tariff was reduced from 50% to 30% on Feb 1st. So that is what the whole fiasco is. And like the way I mentioned this thing, that expose, the word expose actually hit very hard to lot many people. So because of which all these slides were important to be shown and discussed. And now comes the question that okay, now we even have to understand what is going on with the Modi ji administration, that why they are just submissively tiptoeing to all the terms rather than at least showing slight resentment or like showing your terms, like the way what US, like what Canada, China and Mexico is doing. So now the answer to that lies in the Indian polity or the political system as well. Like when we talk about the China, it's like the one party system, communist country, where like you do not have to be worried about your government being toppled by through some sort of external aids. But when we talk about the Indian polity, so over here guys, like the way I mentioned, like this is like the third tenure of the Narendra Modi ji's, like him being as the Prime Minister of India. So in 2014, the party of the Narendra Modi ji, BJP, it came with complete mandate, with complete majority. In 2019 as well, it again came with complete majority. But in 2024, Narendra Modi ji's political party was not able to secure complete mandate, complete majority, I mean to say. So that means they have formed the current coalition government through getting into alliance with other smaller political parties as well. Now the concern over here is that these political parties with whom Narendra Modi ji's party Bhajpa BJP is in current alliance, so those political party people have got a track record of toppling down the government, pulling out, withdrawing their support. I guess something which like Jagmeet Singh also did in the Canadian political system as well, withdrawing his support from the Liberal Party of the Justin Trudeau's party. So now guys, if you will see over here and see the way it has been speculated, it has happened in the past, like Imran Khan in Pakistan, Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh, and now there has been those speculation that the top Trump allies hold secret talks with Zelensky's Ukrainian opponents. So it has been speculated that US hold this clout and this influence to through the form of some aid and all, they can topple the government which they feel is not right for them to negotiate or to make deals with. So that is what or could be the reason. Now comes the question of the independent India's chart, that how planets are going to be influencing them. So guys, first of all, to begin with, like this major coveted, much awaited transit of the planet Saturn. Now Saturn is going to be transiting in the Pisces. If you will take up the India's chart, Saturn is going to be entering into the 11th house. Now guys, the concern over here is that if Saturn is going to be there in the 11th house, it gives its third aspect, restraining aspect to the first house, which is going to be tremendous pressure. Second thing is that even Saturn from over here is going to be giving its aspect to the 5th house and to the 8th house. Now guys, when we talk about the 5th house, so when we talk about the leader of a country, so generally we say this thing, that the throne. So for that, 5th house and the 10th house, they both are equally important. And now from over here, Saturn is not only restraining the 1st house, it's giving its aspect to the 5th house, but it is also influencing the 8th house as well. And like the way guys, you know this thing, that Saturn's transit in the Pisces in itself has got more to do with the breaking down of the things. And see, even like Saturn's entry in the 11th house also tells about there's going to be a lot of the reform in the labor laws and the policy which India has to go through with hosting Saturn in the 11th house. But guys, the good part about the Indian diplomacy is that even at that time when like US under the administration of the Joe Biden, like US and Russia, they were at the loggerheads on the matter of the Ukraine. Even at that time, when the whole, almost many of the countries in the Europe, they also stopped buying the gas and the oil from the Russia, India still was maintaining its good diplomacy with both, like it was actually balancing both US and Russia with efficient diplomacy. Now, the chief planet for the diplomacy is always the planet Rahu. And now in India's chart, Rahu is going to be entering into the 10th house. And I can assure you guys, see, the thing is that the current dasha which India is going through, that is actually making it slight, we can call it, very pleasing. Because right now, India is in the, it is about to finish its Antardasha of the Venus. So now we know this thing, that whenever like any country which is in the Antardasha of the Venus, and that too when your 3rd house is so strong with the contribution of the planets and all, and Venus in the case of the India's chart, it also becomes the 1st house lord as well. So too much of the pleasing could be a concern. Immediate after that guys, like the country is going to be it has already started the Antardasha of the Sun as well, which is not going to be that long. But I mean to say, the Mars Mahadasha is not very far. So after that, once the Mars Mahadasha will begin, which is going to be getting started from the September, over and above that, Rahu in the 10th house. So diplomacy is going to be the answer. And again guys, if you will see that in the whole world, there's a pattern which is getting repeated. See, because the very first thing is that if you will go by the numerology dictums, if you will make a sum total of the 2025, that will give you the resulting number as the 9, being ruled by the planet Mars. Along with that, currently you will see that there is a horde, like people like Donald Trump, they have got this way of looking at things that the more land, the more region and the area I have, the more powerful my country is, the more strong my sovereignty is. And I guess that is the only reason ever since in his second tenure Donald Trump has come, he is being very persistent about getting the Greenland, getting the making Canada the 51st state, and same is the case which is happening with the Russia on the far other end as well. Like there has been this speculation, and that is the only reason why Europe is also intimidated that after the Ukraine, Russia is not gonna stop, and then all other neighboring countries are again going to be in the radar. So I mean to say, in this kind of scenario, how the Mars Dasha will work out. Like a lot many political experts have been now saying this thing that now Myanmar wants to be a part of the India. There have been those speculation that why India is not extending and getting a chance to get their hands on the Pakistan occupied Kashmir region as well. But now guys, the concern over here is that if you will look at in the Mars Mahadasha, the dispositor of that also becomes very important. The dispositor of the Mars becomes the planet Mercury. Now Mercury is placed in the 3rd house. Now for the acquisition of the more land and all, for that we have to give attention to the 4th house, and the 3rd house is 12th from the 4th. It's a matter of concern. When Mars Mahadasha will begin, it is going to be very good, especially when it comes down to the foreign investment and investment on technology, defense and all. It's going to be very, very good because Mars, in the case of the India's chart, it has got a rulership over the 7th and the 12th house. But when it comes down to the getting in that expansion spree of the land, in that regard, I'm not saying it much supportive, but when it comes down to more spendings on the defense budget and more foreign investment and balancing your allies or your partner in a very diplomatically efficient way, that is what is getting promised from over here. So guys, we have discussed how Rahu is going to be contributing. Now coming to the 10th house, which is going to be very, very beneficial. When it comes down to the planet Saturn, Saturn will create those kind of circumstances where these kind of like the way US, because if you will take up the chart of the US is being strongly ruled by the energy of the Leo. So Leo in the India's chart falls in the 4th house, and along with that, from the moon sign, Leo happened to be the 2nd. So beyond any doubt, India is we cannot afford to have like US as an adversary when it comes down to the trade and all. So we cannot even afford that. So that is just out of the question. So so yeah, that is what I wanted to say. When we talk about the friendship with the Russia, which India has, so Russia is like being strongly ruled by the rising sign of the Virgo, which happened to be the 3rd from the moon. So good friend, you can see from over there as well. So and guys, lastly, if you have to even look at the chart of the Narendra Modi ji as well. So in the case of the Narendra Modi ji is in the Mars Mahadasha. Within the Mars Mahadasha, until November 2028, his Mars Mahadasha is going to be active, and his right now he's in the Antardasha of the Saturn. So Mars is there in the 1st house and Saturn is there in the 10th house. Now Saturn, you would say this thing that Saturn is in an enemy sign, but again, I guess that is the only reason that the political the election results of 2024 did not come out as expected, and it was also jolt on the ego as well. Like many people were speculating that the Modi ji administration was, they were like very overconfident, like this time we're gonna get more than 400 seats, and it did not work out like that. So it could be a case that Saturn wanted to jolt that ego as well, as you can see over here. But the Mercury sub period Antardasha, which is going to be beginning in the chart of the Narendra Modi ji from the month of the May. So May onwards, the whole transit is going to be very fortunate, very favorable, and yes, being in the Antardasha of a planet which is exalted in the 11th house, so diplomatic ties, earning more friends and more geopolitical alliance can be foreseen with this upcoming Antardasha. So and yes, when we talk about from the Saturn and from the Rahu's point of view. So one thing which I want to say, this is what a lot many people make joke about, that I guess in the first or second tenure, first tenure, I guess, when suddenly Narendra Modi ji came into the, he addressed the whole country, and he stopped one currency denomination, like 500 rupees and something. So those kind of sudden surprising revelation might also happen, announcement might also happen, that suddenly Narendra Modi ji will feature in the late night, come live and give some very startling, shocking kind of a plan for the country. It could happen because Rahu is going to be transiting in his natal chart in his 4th house, and Saturn is going to be transiting from the 5th house. So yes, like the way I mentioned this thing, that for the throne, for a leader, 5th house, 10th house becomes very important. So yes, Saturn is going to be creating some sort of difficulties over there as well, and some sort of karmic lesson as we call it. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Once again, thanks a lot for watching this video, and for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.